Regret doesn't fade with time. It only grows like a scar that never quite heals. And now I carry that scar every day. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to admit that you were the one who destroyed everything. And now all that's left is the wreckage of your own making. The worst part of betrayal isn't the anger or the pain. It's the realization that you've lost something that can never be replaced. I can't change what I did, but I can change how I deal with the aftermath. And right now, the only thing I know for certain is that it's going to take a long time to heal. What do you do when you realize that you're the villain in someone else's story? How do you make peace with the fact that you're the one who caused all the pain? Every decision I made led me here, to this moment where I have to face the truth of what I've done. And the hardest truth is that I can never undo it. I thought I was doing the right thing, but now I see that sometimes the right thing is the hardest thing to do. And I failed. When trust is broken, the world feels like it's fallen apart. And no matter how hard you try, you can never put the pieces back together the way they were. The guilt of knowing I hurt someone I loved is overwhelming. It's a weight I carry, and it's something I don't know how to escape. Sometimes we think we can handle the consequences, but the reality is always harder than we imagine. And now I'm left with the aftermath of my own choices. Trust isn't something that can be rebuilt with words. It's rebuilt with actions. But sometimes, no matter what you do, the damage is too great to fix. You can't undo the past, no matter how much you wish you could. But you can learn from it, and that's the only hope I have left. I've learned that the hardest thing isn't facing the truth, it's accepting the consequences of that truth. I've made mistakes, and now I have to live with them. But the hardest part is knowing that the people I hurt will never forget. The silence after a betrayal is deafening. It's a silence that speaks volumes, and no amount of regret can fill it. I didn't realize what I had until it was gone. And now all I have is regret and the painful realization that I can never go back. Sometimes the hardest part isn't facing the truth. It's realizing that the truth is something you can never undo. You don't realize the impact of your actions until it's too late. And when it's too late, all you can do is sit with the regret. I thought I could get away with it, but I didn't. And now I have to live with the knowledge that I broke something that can never be fixed. I made a choice, and now I have to live with the consequences. It's a burden I never thought I'd have to bear, but here I am. What do you do when the guilt becomes too much to bear? How do you move forward when you've hurt the one person who trusted you most? Trust is something you can never take for granted. Once it's gone, all you're left with is the regret of losing something irreplaceable. The worst part of betrayal isn't the loss of trust, it's the loss of yourself. The person you become after you've betrayed someone is someone you can never truly escape. There are moments in life when you realize that what you did was wrong, and no apology, no matter how heartfelt, will ever change the past. The hardest thing I've ever had to do is look into the eyes of someone I hurt and realize that I can never take back what I did. I never thought I'd be the one to hurt someone I loved. But here I am, staring at the aftermath of my own mistakes. You can't undo the damage you've done, no matter how much you wish you could. And that's a lesson I've learned the hard way. What do you do when the person you've hurt is someone you can never replace? How do you make peace with the fact that you were the one who caused their pain? I wish I could go back and fix everything, but I can't. All I can do now is hope that someday forgiveness will find its way back to me. I thought I was invincible, untouchable, but I made a choice that shattered everything. Now I'm left with the weight of my actions and the heavy silence that follows. I once believed in the purity of my intentions, but now, as I sit in the aftermath, I realize that sometimes good intentions are drowned by the consequences of poor decisions. What do you do when you've broken something that can never be repaired? How do you live with the trust you shattered in a single moment of selfishness? It wasn't just a mistake, it was a betrayal of everything we built. And now I'm staring at the ruins, questioning if I can ever look at myself the same way again. Sometimes the hardest thing to admit is that you've hurt someone you never intended to hurt, but no amount of regret can undo what's been done. I didn't realize the true weight of my actions until it was too late. Now, all I have is the echo of my decisions and the loss of something that was once irreplaceable. In the blink of an eye, everything changed. What I thought was just a small misstep turned out to be the moment everything I loved slipped away forever. The hardest part of this journey isn't accepting my mistake. It's realizing that I can't undo the damage done to the trust that was once so strong. What do you do when the consequences of your actions are more than you can bear? How do you face the person you've hurt without feeling like a stranger in your own skin? Trust, once broken, becomes a shadow of what it once was. And now I find myself walking in that shadow, wondering if I'll ever find my way back into the light. You never truly understand the power of your decisions until you see the aftermath. And now, as I reflect, I realize that the price I paid was much higher than I ever imagined. I did something I never thought I was capable of, and now the consequences of that choice hang over me like a storm cloud, casting a shadow on every thought, every feeling. Regret is a funny thing, always there, quietly haunting you. It doesn't scream at you, it whispers in your ear, reminding you of what you could have done differently. In trying to protect myself, I ended up hurting the one person who meant the most. And now I don't know how to face them or how to face myself. When you betray someone's trust, you're left with a version of yourself that's hard to recognize. A person who has to confront the ugliness they've created in others. I thought I knew what I was doing, but now I'm left wondering if I ever truly understood the impact of my choices. And I'm scared that I'll never be able to make it right. The fear of losing someone is nothing compared to the fear of knowing that you were the one who pushed them away. And that fear is now my constant companion. I'm not proud of what I've done. I'm not even sure I can forgive myself for it. But I've learned that sometimes forgiveness isn't a gift you give to others. It's a burden you bear for yourself. The person I was yesterday doesn't exist anymore. The person I am today is haunted by the echoes of mistakes I can't take back. I thought I could handle the consequences, but I wasn't prepared for the guilt that would follow. It's a weight that never leaves, never lightens. How do you rebuild something that's been shattered beyond recognition? How do you move forward when you're not sure you even deserve a second chance? There are moments in life when you wish you could turn back time, but you can't. All you can do is face the fallout and hope that somehow the pieces can be put back together. The silence after a betrayal speaks louder than words ever could. It's in that silence that you realize how much you've lost. It's not the mistake that defines me, but how I choose to move forward from it. And right now, moving forward feels like the hardest thing I've ever had to do. You can never truly escape the consequences of your actions. They follow you like a shadow, no matter how far you run. There's nothing more painful than knowing that your choices have caused irreparable harm to someone you care about. And now, all you can do is sit with that pain. I thought I was being clever, but now I see the truth. Lies are always uncovered, and when they are, the damage is far worse than the secret ever was. Trust is fragile. One misstep, one betrayal, and it's gone. And all you're left with is the regret that comes with knowing you destroyed something precious. What do you do when you realize that the person you hurt the most is the one who never deserved it? How do you live with that knowledge? I wish I could go back and make different choices, but I can't. All I have now are the lessons learned from the mistakes I can never undo. I thought I could hide the truth, but in the end, the truth always comes out, and when it does, it leaves nothing but destruction in its wake.